is Audrey and I'm a sophomore here at TCU studying environmental science and as also secondary education. And today I'm going to be talking about will there be future scientists? So I'm going to start by asking you a couple of questions and just nod your head, maybe raise your hand if you agree with them. So who remembers covering topics like sound or light in elementary school, specifically kindergarten? Anybody? Maybe that's a little bit specific. What about the dinosaurs of the solar system? Maybe elementary school, kindergarten. So what if I told you that at a study done in 2010, only 50% of kindergarten teachers said they covered these four topics? This to me was a staggering statistic, as these are major topics that are covered in science today. So today I'm going to be talking about the importance of STEM education in K through 12. This topic is important as everyone in this classroom has taken a STEM class, whether that was in elementary, middle, or high school, or maybe even college. It's also important as it affects our future generations, including either if you have children right now or if you plan to have children in the future. So today I'm going to be going over 5 topics. First, what is STEM? Next, regulations in STEM. Then some current or past and current studies. And last, some discrepancies in data on STEM. So first, what is STEM and STEM education? STEM stands for Science, Technology, Math, and Engineering, and was coined by Judith Ramley in the year 1993 while she was the head of NSF, or the National Science Foundation. STEM education is the integration of science, technology, engineering, and math into a cohesive curriculum. Modern STEM education not only promotes skills like critical thinking and problem solving, but it also focuses on behavioral concepts like perseverance and adaptability. Today I'll mostly be focusing on the science side of STEM, but I'll also be covering the other 3. And this presentation just barely scratches the surface as there's so much literature covered in STEM. So first, some regulations that are very heavily influence STEM education are first, No Child Left Behind, or NCLB, which was enacted in 2001 by George W. Bush. And then also the Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA, which was enacted in 2015 by Barack Obama. These acts were put in purpose to set a standard for American education, and they required states to require their public schools to give tests to 3rd to 8th grade every year in math and reading, and then once in elementary, once in middle, and once in high school, covering science. And then the ESSA was the same as NCLB, but just an updated version, and it was a little bit more specific with which tests states could give. So now that I've talked about some regulations in STEM education, I'm going to be talking about some past studies that were done. So first, I'm focused on 2. One was an elementary study done in 2010, where they surveyed elementary teachers and found that 1 in 5 kindergarten teachers reported teaching STEM, or science, each day, while they reported that 9 out of 10 reported teaching math and reading each day. And this was a direct reflection of No Child Left Behind, as their students were going to be tested on reading and math more than they were on science. This was both good and bad, as teachers were then told to focus on certain aspects, but then their students were not given the same background in all the different curriculums. So then there's another main study that I focused on, which was this high school longitudinal study that was done starting in 2009, but wasn't technically published until 2023. And this study, they took 20,000 9th grade students and they surveyed them in the year 2009, again in 2012, again in 2013, and again in 2016. And by 2016, these students were juniors in college, which it was very interesting. They found a direct correlation between the amount of STEM classes taken in high school and having a higher chance of having a STEM-related job during college, and also predicting that they were going to have a STEM-related job outside of college. So now I've talked about a couple past studies, I'm going to talk about some current ones. So there was an elementary school study done recently where they found that on general first grade general knowledge exams, which included a science aspect, it had a direct correlation with the students having achievement in 8th grade science, meaning that if a student was taught more, or more specifically in science in lower years, they were going to have higher test scores later in life. And then there was another study done during COVID in 2020 where teachers were surveyed, and they said that students were learning a lot about technology as they had to learn how to use Zoom and other aspects like that, but they struggled to cover major concepts that they would have covered during their normal classroom environments or in their normal classroom environments. And this had a direct correlation on ACT statistics. So the ACT actually releases a comprehensive document called the National Graduating Class Profile Report, where they take all of their tests and all the scores and they put them together into a cumulative document. And they have multiple graphs and tables, and I'm going to show you a table here. This was a trend graph or table where they showed from years from 2019 till 2023, and as you can see on the end, our science national scores have been going down, which also the other ones have, but I was just focusing on the science one. And then another interesting graph that they published was their percent of students meeting the STEM benchmark, and this has gone down 5% since the year 2019. This is really important as so many students take these tests. Some states even require students to take the ACT. Similarly, SAT has had similar statistics related to their students' outcomes. And this also means that less and less students are being equipped for science classes in college, as many students take this their senior year going into college. So now I'm going to be talking about some discrepancies. So some discrepancies, I just talked about standardized tests like ACT or SAT. These are hard as not every student takes them. It's not required for every state to have students take SAT or ACT. And also these tests, they are a wide variety of ranges and not just one range group or one age group. Next, national data is hard to use in STEM education and also education tests too, as they don't include many private schools are included in these tests. And then lastly, we can also see that longitudinal studies are the best way to do this or to look at data related to education, but they are hard to do as they take time, they're costly, and the education is constantly changing. So finally, today I talked to you about what STEM was, some past and present studies, also some government regulations that are on STEM in the US, as well as some discrepancies found among STEM data. And in conclusion, this topic is important to you and me as our society is built off of STEM and STEM education, and also future generations of Americas will be reliant on the STEM education they receive. And then I'd like to end off with a quote by Bill Nye. Science is the key to our future, and if you do not believe in science, then you are holding everyone back. Thank you.
Thank you.